Hello everyone, and welcome to another off-road update. As the 2025 GNCC season enters the final 4 rounds of the championship, the youth national title is still up for grabs. While the points chase has been controlled by one rider all year long, several riders still want to have something to say before the end of 2025. As the championship enters the stretch run of the series, individual race wins are going to be harder to come by. As the riders fired off the line at the wave of the green flag for the Buckwheat 100 GNCC, it was series points leader Travis Lentz grabbing the YXC one-hole shot and leading the way through the opening chicane. He would be followed by Lucas Skelton, Cooper Duff, Kel Kirkman, and Logan Grounds rounding out the top 5 ahead of the rest of the field. Next up was the YXC 2 class, and grabbing optimum traction heading towards corner number 1 was Gavin Harwell. He would carry the momentum through, grabbing the hole shot. Following him into the woods came Maddox Wiggins, Philip Arnold, Deegan Kaplinger, and points leader Ace Tokar. A few miles after the riders left the start line, it was Lentz in the number 1 spot with Duff chasing him in second, a sizable gap to the rest of the field. Skelton was alone in third while Camden Kraus made up for a poor start to slot into fourth. The battle for fifth began early between Treston Walker and Nash Pearson, with Grounds just behind to hold on to eighth. Kirkman ran ninth while Grant Meacham made up for a poor start of his own to round out the top 10 running order. A few miles later, Lentz and Duff were still wheel-to-wheel as they had left the rest of the YXC1 field far behind. Skelton still held third with Kraus in control of the fourth position. Running fifth, however, all the way from the YXC2 class was Philip Arnold, who had already pulled a gap on his own class. Pearson ran 6th while Tokar and Harwell ran in spots 7 and 8 while also rounding out the YXC2 podium positions. Walker and Kirkman rounded out the top 10 with Meacham looking from the outside in. A few miles before the end of lap 2, Lentz and Duff were still stuck together. Both riders had missed races during the middle part of the season. Duff suffering a broken ankle in Tennessee, while Lentz broke his collarbone just before Indiana. Both riders were showing, however, that they were the top of the field. Skelton still held third while moving all the way to fourth was Arnold, as Kraus had been displaced to round out the top 5. Pearson was all by himself in the number 6 spot as Harwell had made the pass on Tokar for 7th. Walker ran 9th while Meacham had made the pass on Kirkman to round out the top 10 in the order. One mile before the second lap was over, Lentz still had the Husqvarna rider camped on his rear wheel, the longest anyone had stuck to the gas pilot all season thus far. Off camera, Arnold had made the pass on Skelton to move into third physically on track from the second row as Skelton checked in for fourth, with Kraus still holding on to fifth without goggles. Pearson ran a lonely 6th while the race for 7th was still on between Harwell and Tokar. Walker was 9th while Meacham still rounded out the top 10. Starting lap 3, and Lentz had finally opened up a gap on Duff to where he couldn't hear him directly from behind. Skelton and Kraus had gotten back around Arnold for 3rd and 4th, although Arnold still led them on a time adjustment, running in 5th. Pearson finally had company in the form of Ace Tokar, who had finally broken free of the battle with Gavin Harwell, as the South Carolina native had fallen off the pace. Meacham, meanwhile, had a good head of steam and had passed Treston Walker to run 9th, pushing Walker back to 10th. Just a few miles before the finish line, and Duff was back to Lentz's rear wheel, looking for any opportunity to take over the number 1 spot. Arnold, who had a win at the shortened Talladega race for round 3, ran a solid third with a massive gap to Tokar and Harwell in the YXC2 class. Skelton was having a consistent race in 4th, while Tokar climbed all the way to 5th ahead of Pearson, while Harwell checked in for 7th in the running. Meacham had moved up to 8th, but had Walker hounding his rear wheel, running in 9th. Kirkman rounded out the top 10 as Grounds chased him from the outside looking in. Kraus, meanwhile, had a mechanical issue on his KTM, and his race was over before the completion of lap 3. When the checker flag fell, Travis Lentz took his 9th win of the season, although a little banged up after a crash in the final 2 miles. Cooper Duff would come home in the runner-up spot, his first podium since Camp Coker back in April. Philip Arnold would cross the line 3rd physically and overall for the morning, along with his 2nd YXC2 win of the year. Ace Tokar would finish in 4th overall, 2nd in YXC2, while Gavin Harwell would round out the YXC2 podium, finishing 5th overall for the morning. Lucas Skelton would close out the YXC1 podium, finishing 6th overall. Nash Pearson would take 7th overall for the morning, with Grant Meacham claiming 8th. Caleb Johnson would win the 85 Big Wheel 11-13 class from row 4, while Tristan Walker rounded out the top 10.
All right, we're back for summer break. Let's take us through the race. It looked like it was we didn't get the whole shot, but we got to the lead quick. And then what happened there at the end? We got a handguard up in the air, your arms in your lap. What happened? Take us through it all.
Yeah, I got off to a really good start. I was really happy with that, and then tried to pull a lead, but Cooper came with me, and we battled the whole race. It was fun. We never really went back and forth, but he definitely was right by me the whole race, and with him being there, we just pushed the pace the whole time. And then last lap, once I got a lead, I wasn't even going fast, just cruising around. Then went to go inside of like this little rock section. It's not like rocky at all, just little rocks. And crashed on my left side and put my hand right to a rock, and felt like I broke it at first. I don't think it is. It's still pretty sore. Hit it in just like right in the middle of my hand, so it doesn't feel too good. But locked up the YXC1 championship today, but still want that overall. So I got 2 more to go. So leave it at that.
Nice ride.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, everyone. Round 11 of the 2025 Grand National Cross Country Series takes place September 20th and 21st in Beckley, West Virginia at the Summit Bechtel Reserve for the Mountaineer GNCC. I'll see you guys there.